Don't mind me. I'm pontificating. Yeah. Shout out to the one-leg QB. Yeah, yeah. Let's get that out the way. So, talk about the Hurricanes on the back end. Let's talk about the big news of Florida State being left out. And some people seem to be in an uproar, but I'm not. And it's not just because I'm a Miami Hurricane fan or anything like that. It's they don't meet the criteria. They don't meet the criteria. One of the, let me see. LOL South Coast K. Yeah, they don't meet the criteria. Um, One of the things that the committee has in their actual principles, so to speak, is that if you have a player missing, a star player missing that could impact the next game, that is a automatic disqualifier. QB say they're hot down here. Yeah, they hot. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. Um, the question has been asked, hypothetical question. What if this was Miami and y'all were in this situation? You would argue for your team to be in, and I wouldn't. Especially if I knew that my quarterback was the driving force for my offense. It would be a completely different story if Florida State, with Jordan Travis not playing, if it was a situation in which they were still playing at the same level from an offensive standpoint. But that's not the case. They look bad against South Alabama or North Alabama. They look bad against Florida. They look bad against Florida, and they look bad against Louisville last night. It just so happens that Florida was worse than them, and so was Louisville, right? So I'm not gonna argue that, especially when, as a Miami Hurricane fan, I've heard from other fans that, hey, look, we're a quarterback away. So I don't want to hear anything about someone arguing about, well, it's a team game. Yeah, it is a team game. But everyone on the team does not have the same value. And somebody was on Coach Hayes' show last night talking about Jordan Travis is not one of the 5 best players on Florida State team. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Like let's not do this. Especially when they have attributed Jordan Travis as a reason that they've won these particular games. So let's just stop it. Going back to the 2002 title game, Miami Hurricanes, right? What most people will bring up is the pass interference call. But other people have said that when Willis McGahee went down, you could see the life being sucked out of the sideline over there. Because Willis McGahee meant just that much to the offense that year. Willis McGahee was a Heisman Trophy candidate. Willis McGahee scored 28 rushing touchdowns that year. Now, 28 touchdowns may not be a lot in terms of 2023, but back in 2002, someone scoring 28 touchdowns, that's a big deal. And most people have said, well, man, if Willis wouldn't have got hurt, man, we win that game. So that takes the entire team aspect out of it, right? I said this, and this is what I feel, right? The committee gave Florida State the benefit of the doubt in 2014. They were the reigning national champions. They were undefeated. They didn't look good in all the games, but they won all the games. Get the number 4 seed, play the University of Oregon, get run off the field. Now, I feel like had that not happened to Florida State in 2014, and I feel like that we did not have the one-sided national championship game that we had with TCU and Michigan, TCU and Georgia last year, maybe. But it is what it is. Now, what I will say is my 4 were Washington, Michigan, Texas, and Ohio State. Those were my 4. Because, yeah, Alabama, you did beat Georgia. You did do that. But then you stunk up the joint against USF. I still remember that you stunk up the joint. Ohio State only lost one game, and that one game was to the Big Ten champion, Michigan. They have a stronger resume than Alabama has. They have a stronger resume than Florida State has. But they put a lot of credence on that, on Alabama beating Georgia. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? You read too what someone said they should boycott the ball game. Florida State got to play Georgia, man. On paper, that should be a good game, but I'm sure Florida State will have some guys that are probably gonna sit that game out. Some of the transfers that gonna get ready for the NFL, but honestly, they should play. They should play, and the reason that they should play is because if y'all were to beat Georgia, then you could lay claim to say, see, we were one of the 4 best teams. Because this is the problem that I have. If there was a way that you could sign some type of piece of paper that says, look, we're not going to blame it on our quarterback not playing if we lose the game, then cool. But I know that's not going to happen. Because the first thing that you are going to say, the first thing that Florida State fans would have said the past 3 weeks, we lost because we didn't have our quarterback. Simple as that. All I can tell you is get better. It's a 12-team playoff. You can qualify next year. Same thing for my Miami Hurricanes, right? Same thing. I'm a Kane fan of Jordan Travis not being there. They should have dropped the next week he was out. We need to stand up for the ACC. The same can happen to us. I agree with what you're saying right there. But my problem is this. This whole precedent of you're an undefeated team, you should stay in the top 4. They need to do away with that precedent. Point blank, period. I agree with what you're saying. Florida State should have dropped because you lost Jordan Travis, especially after the performance that they put on the field against Florida. You should have dropped. But that's the problem, is that you want to reward someone for being undefeated, and sometimes being undefeated doesn't mean that you're one of the best teams, but that's the precedent they tried to set. And then now they want to come back and say, okay, well, it's about the 4 best teams, because at the end of the day, the only ranking that matters is the ranking that they just put out here for the actual playoffs. Everything else that precedes that, honestly, it's just something to get people to watch television that day. Honestly, like the playoff committee, it shouldn't have to start in October when they do the first rankings. They should just have this 1 week right here, and those are the rankings. And let's just keep the AP and the coaches poll or whatever the other polls are. Let those guys rank the top 25, whatever. And then the last week of the season, which was this particular week, then the playoff committee, then y'all sit down, y'all sit there, y'all talk, y'all watch every single thing, whatever it is like that, and then y'all release it to the public. Because yeah, Junior, JR, that is a great point. If you're going to, because I didn't think about that. You're right. If you're gonna punish them now, they should have been punished last week. But it didn't work like that. But they should just have 1 week, and they do it. Simple as that. Let the AP and the coaches poll do that, and then y'all, that last week of the season, y'all just go out and say, hey, look, these are our top 4 teams. Right? These are our top 4 teams. And these are the reasons that we are saying these are our top 4 teams. Simple as that. Etlin said those wins were ugly. Some of those games could have easily been losses. I mean, Etlin, that's the case. That's the case for a lot of teams. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna. I give Florida State credit. Y'all did win those games. Simple as that. Y'all did win. You know what I mean? But the problem again is that your best player is not playing, and the objective is to get the best 4 teams in the game. Brother Jay called it. Brother Jay, you weren't on Coach Hayes' show earlier that day before we started watching the games, and I said Florida State needed to win that game by 3 or more possessions in order to make a stand. But I said I still feel like they're not gonna make it because you don't have your best player, so you no longer the one of the strengths that you had in your team, that strength is no longer there anymore. If the QB went 8 for 23, they would be in it. But QB didn't he go something like that? I think he was like 8 for 23 or something like that. He just didn't have the touchdowns. He didn't throw a touchdown. That's what that was. They 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 running back ended up think about that. They running back ended up winning MVP. But again, it's simple as this. If some of the transfers got some eligibility left, run it back. That's all you can do at this. That's all you can do at this point. Run it back. Georgia won yesterday and Texas lost. FSU wasn't getting in. Ohio State would be in. Let me think about this scenario. Georgia wins. They stay at 1. Texas loses to Oklahoma State. FSU would have got in. FSU would have been 4 and they would have bumped Ohio State up. So the playoffs, if Georgia won and Texas lost, the playoffs would be Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Washington 3, Florida State 4. So that's how that would have worked out. Because you said if Georgia would have won and Texas would have lost, because it wouldn't have been any justification to jump Oregon, because I think Oregon is what, the 7th team. It wouldn't have been any justification to jump a 2-loss Oregon team over an undefeated Florida State. Now that would have been criminal, right? That would have been criminal. But yeah, brother Jay, yeah. Nassau, you are what your record says you are. I mean, that's what people say, but all records aren't built the same. I think, yes, Florida State is an undefeated team, and all 4 of those teams that are in there now, they've all had a struggle. Obviously, you only got 2 of the teams that are undefeated, and then you got 2 teams that lost the game, right? So Washington had some close games. Washington could have, like I said, I watched Washington more this year because I like Michael Penix, and I hope my Raiders draft Michael Penix. But Michael Penix, he didn't look good against Oregon. Well, Washington's offense did not look good against Oregon State. They had another close game. Was it against Arizona? They had another close game. So Washington has had some close games as well, but you still got the Heisman Trophy. Michael Penix probably going to win the Heisman Trophy. So you got the Heisman Trophy quarterback, and they were able to get it going. Brother Jay said Jordan Travis was not the only reason they did not choose FSU strength of schedule. They did not play no stronger opponents than Bama. Brother Jay, I agree with that. But Jordan Travis being out, I think that was the icing on the cake. Because this is my whole thing right like this. When Ohio State lost to Michigan, Ohio State was, according to the playoff committee, Ohio State was 2. Ohio State dropped behind they dropped behind Oregon. And I think they were ahead of Texas, right? And they were completely out of it. So I think Ohio State played a tougher schedule than Alabama did. But again, like I said, when Jordan Travis gets hurt, that's just the icing on the cake. It makes it easier. You know what I mean? QB, this year was the running back. QB, yes and no. You did run it back because you went 10-3 last year. But I'm looking at it from the standpoint of y'all went 13-0 this year. Go 13-0 again next year. You know what I mean? I don't believe so. Jared, what you mean you don't believe so? Believe so about what? Oh, you don't believe that? I mean that's the way I look at it, because Georgia would have beat Alabama, which would have put Alabama at 2 losses, right? Texas loses to Oklahoma State, which Oklahoma State was ranked 18th. So you would have had to push. So Oregon has 2 losses. So this is what you're looking at right here. You got undefeated Florida State, and the only other 1-loss team is Ohio State. So you can't justifiably put a 2-loss. I mean, we're putting a 1-loss team over them, but you can't put a 2-loss Oregon or a 2-loss Alabama you can't justifiably put them over Florida State. I mean, now that even with Jordan Travis being out, you can't do that, man. You lost 2 games. Even though LSU lost 2 games that year, Les Miles was there, and they ended up playing for the national championship. And they lost late in the season to get that second loss, but they still got a national championship game. But I don't think they're gonna do that again. You know what I'm saying? But nah, QB, this run it back again. Go back to the portal. Go get Will Howard, or go get one of those big time transfer portal quarterbacks. Get a couple linemen, replace some guys, and Mike Norvell run it back again. It is what it is. Because again, what the Bobby Bowden quote is, you lose big, you lose close, then you win close. Y'all won close, and finally you win big. So according to Bobby Bowden, next year should be Florida State year, according to Bobby Bowden. And that's all. I hate FS Pooh, but they should be in. It doesn't matter how you do it. It's that you do it. I mean, that's all. I mean, you and I, we could probably go back and forth about this all day, but the committee already wrote it down, what it is. Strength of schedule, head-to-head matchups, and a star player being out, or a coach. They got that written down, right? I saw someone put that on Twitter, and I said, boom, let me go ahead and retweet this. But I said, no, let me go check it first. And so I went to check it, and it's right there. The problem is people only started sharing it yesterday, right? If they would have shared it initially when Jordan Travis got hurt against, North Alabama, then maybe, it wouldn't be so much of an uproar. Because, again, I'm sure that came as a shock to a lot of people. I know it came as a shock to me because I'm like, oh, I didn't know they had this written down. So they kind of covered the basis by saying, look, we understand. We want to take out the excuse of X player did not play and all this. And, again, like I said, Florida State, the performance that y'all put up in 2014, I feel like hurt y'all. And I feel like the committee is of the mindset that, look, we're not going to make the same mistake twice. We gave a P5 team, we gave Florida State the opportunity. Y'all deserved it in 2014. You crapped the bed. All right, we need a G5 team in. All right, we're going to put Cincinnati in the game. They didn't like they belonged on the field with Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Also in 2014, there was a big uproar because Baylor and TCU played, right? That's when Art Briles was still there. Baylor beat TCU during the season. And then Baylor and TCU played again at the end of the season, and TCU beat Baylor. And Baylor said, well, you shouldn't punish us for that. So what did the committee do last year? The same exact thing happened again, where Kansas State beat TCU. And the committee said, all right, we made that mistake one time. We're not going to make that mistake again. TCU goes out and beats Michigan, but then they get ran off the field against Georgia. So we can talk about the committee, but I do commend them for not making the same mistake twice. They corrected a mistake. And this was a correction of a mistake, even though that was 2014, but they corrected it. I mean, and that's just my thought about it. You know what I mean? I mean, people can, disagree with it or whatever, but that's the way I look at it, right? When Bama beat the number 1 opponent, Georgia, that was the icing on the cake. I mean, Brother Jay, Bama was what, 8? We have seen instances in which teams lost and the team that they beat is still in front of them, because we saw that when we beat Texas A&M. Texas A&M was still ranked higher than us because they were ranked higher than us to begin with. So, in my opinion, 8 beats number 1, neutral site. I could see a situation where Georgia could have still been ranked ahead of Alabama, but they weren't going to keep an SEC team out of it. You know what I'm saying? Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Yeah, Trent Dilfer did win a Super Bowl, but NFL and college, to me, those are 2 completely different things, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. Let's go back to 2010. Cam Newton and Auburn. Nobody's gonna think that the backup quarterback would have been able to go out there and do what Cam Newton did. Because no one thought Auburn was a good team, but they had the best player in college football. Um, '08 Florida. If Tim Tebow doesn't play, what does that look like? What's another game? What's another game we could think about? Because you got a lot of instances in which you got like individual players that are like literally the best players on the team. You know what I mean? Um, Alabama versus Georgia. You know, the big quarterback switch. Obviously, Tua was able to come in and do something that Jalen, Jalen wasn't able to do. No, 2019 LSU. We played that same LSU team in 2018. But do you think that LSU could have won a national title if Joe Burrow wasn't there? Do you think 2019 LSU was one of the best teams in the country if Joe Burrow would have got hurt? I mean, so I think it's different to me comparing the NFL to college, because in the NFL, you probably can win like that. Trent Dilfer was able to win. Trent Dilfer won. Brian Johnson with the Buccaneers, they won in '02. Like, you can do that type of stuff in NFL because, this literally is the best of the best. But you literally are building offenses around single players, like Texas in '05. Like Vince Young. Like, they don't win that game without Vince Young. Templates, I mean, that's what it is. I don't have social media. Okay. I'm loving the drama. That's why you had to play the game, because we don't know. I mean, that's all. You right, we don't know. But this is the thing. This is the thing to me, is that it goes back to what I said. The committee gave Florida State the benefit of the doubt in 2014, and it bit them. They gave TCU the benefit of the doubt last year, and it bit them. So, yes, you got to play the game to see what's going to happen, because nothing is guaranteed. But college football is not like the NFL in essence, where it's like a team could be in a situation where they could get hot, like when the Giants beat the Eagles. I mean, when the Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, right? The Patriots were the favorite to win, but the Giants had a good team, and they turned it on late. So, that's what it is. Why didn't Texas drop when Ewers missed 3 games? They didn't look good. FSU shouldn't have played the game yesterday. That faith was already decided weeks ago. Why didn't Texas drop when Ewers missed 3 games? Well, Texas was 7. Texas dropped because Texas dropped against Oklahoma when they lost to Oklahoma. Texas dropped. The thing about it is like how far. But when you talk about Texas, this is where this conversation is different. Texas had already had 1 loss, so realistically, you're not going to drop Texas lower than a 1 loss. No, drop them below a 2-loss team. You're not going to do that to Texas. Texas didn't look the best without Quinn Ewers in the game. They didn't. But the thing of it is that Texas got Quinn Ewers back though, and I think that's the thing. Like, they got Quinn Ewers back, so that's the thing. To me, bro, that was then. This is now. I understand, Nassau, but that's me looking at it from the committee standpoint. Is we did that. We did that already, and it didn't work. And their job is try to get the 4 best teams in Florida. And honestly, Florida State's not one of the 4 best teams without their quarterback. In my opinion, right? That's just me, and not just say my opinion, but that's what they got. That's what they got written down. Like, if one of your best players is missing, that's what we're trying to do. Now, I know Coach Hayes put a hypothetical out there, and it's a good hypothetical that say, hey, well, Florida State gets in, they play Michigan round one. So what if McCarthy or Blake Corum goes down, right? What about that? What happens in that game? Because we saw that. We saw that against Georgia and Alabama when Mechie and Jameson went down, and then we also saw it last year when Marvin Harrison Jr. went down. That's a great hypothetical. But the problem with those hypotheticals is those situations happen in the game, like after the final rankings were given out. So to me, that's where it differs. Like, yeah, Florida State, you never know what can happen, but we can't say that those two performances that we saw warrant them being two of the best teams. And again, like I said, I feel like Ohio State should have been in over Alabama. That's my thing, right? I didn't feel like Alabama should jump all the way from 8-4 just because y'all beat Georgia. I didn't feel that way. That's me. Smiley, if I win my conference and haven't lost a game, what else needs to be done? I can't stand FSU, but they are in our conference, so I stand with them only today. I mean, yeah, I see a lot of people with some conference affiliation, but again, I've seen the Pac-12 left out. We've seen the Big 12 left out. You know what I mean? It just so happens that we in the ACC, we've been able to have Florida State and even Clemson more recently, make a case that they can't be denied. Again, like I said, this is what they have written down. If you are missing a star player, then we're gonna take that in consideration. And the past 2 weeks, even with Rodemaker, you look bad against Florida. And then against Louisville, the third string quarterback, he didn't look that good. So if the committee did not have that written in the thing, then it is what it is. But again, it goes back to what I said. If we were in this same situation and a big chunk of our offense was missing, then I can't justifiably say that, hey, we're the best team, especially when these wins that Florida State is pointing to, you had your best player in those games. Jordan Travis played against LSU. Jordan Travis played against Clemson. Jordan Travis played against Duke. Those are y'all three best wins. Now, obviously, you'll say, we didn't have Jordan Travis against Louisville, and the game didn't look the same. The defense played a lot better, but it didn't look the same. Your best wins were with your quarterback in those games. Now, if we want to throw hypotheticals out there, if we want to do the hypothetical circus, hypothetically, does Florida State beat LSU without Jordan Travis? They were trailing against Duke until Riley Leonard got hurt. The Clemson game, obviously they went to Death Valley and went to overtime, but do they win that game without Jordan Travis? Simple, to me, that's what it is. If we're gonna play the hypothetical, then let's go play the other hypotheticals. Do y'all win those games without Jordan Travis? And even the staunchest Florida State fan would have to say no, because again, if the shoe was on the other foot, this 2023 season, regardless of what people want to say about we don't want a flash in the pan, we all know this as Miami Hurricane fans. If Tyler Van Dyke, if Cam Kitchens makes that tackle and doesn't miss that coverage against Georgia Tech, we win that game. If Tyler Van Dyke doesn't go out here and turn the ball over in some of these other games, we win that game. And we could have very well had a rematch against Florida State in the ACC championship game. But the reason that did not occur is because our best player, one of our perceived best players, they didn't play well, and we are putting that loss on Tyler Van Dyke. Because as much as we want to say it's a team game, we're putting losses on one player. So if we want to put losses on one player, you also got to turn around and put wins on one player. Because that's how sports is. It's illogical, but you will try to make a logical statement out of it, You don't know? No, I don't know that. I don't know that Nassau, but sometimes you got to play the odds. You know what I mean? I stand with my state. I mean, it's cool. I know about the situation sent to your email because I was there. Okay. Duke had them by the QB got hurt. That Duke game shouldn't count. I would say FSU would still win against LSU. You would think so because of their defense. I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't know. But again, Jordan Travis, he threw 3 touchdowns to Keon Coleman. Could Tate Rodemaker throw those touchdowns to Keon Coleman? Maybe, but we don't know. Do we go undefeated if TVD show up? Yes. You know why we go undefeated in Nassau? Because people have, and like you said, brother, you said you don't have social media, but let me tell you what's going on social media. There was a poll, or not a poll, but people asked the question, what would our record have been this year if D'Eriq King was here or if Brad Collier was here? Now, we're assuming that Brad Collier is going to be the Brad Collier that we saw to end 2016, and we're going to assume that D'Eriq King is the D'Eriq King that we saw in 2020. So, and then if TVD gives us the performance that he gave us at the end of 2021, yes. I don't think it's up. I don't think it's a debate, honestly, about what our record would be if TVD shows up. Because that was the whole thing. That was our whole situation this entire offseason, was that we finally gonna get an offense back that fits TVD's strong suit. Lance Guidry is gonna rebuild the defense, and we're gonna be ready to rock and roll. Looking at this season again, I'm not the moral victory guy. I promise I'm not. I don't want to be the moral victory guy, because at the end of the day, did I beat you on the field? Yes or no? I didn't beat you. All right, cool. I don't care about that. Oh well, you know, it was a one possession and all this and stuff. Like, no, we lost the game. But if TVD would have played the way that we saw TVD play against Texas A&M, who beats us on our schedule? If the TVD that played against Texas A&M shows up, who beats us? That was the offseason question last year when everyone was saying, what are the predictions? I said 7-5. But then someone will put you on the spot and say, what are the 5 losses? And then you say, all right, well, you say Texas A&M, Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, and either Louisville or Boston College. And then a person will turn around and say, well, we should have beat Texas A&M last year. North Carolina's not as strong. We're better this year. So I mean, you'll make that case. But yes, looking at the season in totality, if Tyler Van Dyke doesn't have a mental lapse and gets a case of the turnovers, bro, yes. Who do we lose to? Ellen TVD, 2-leg TVD was lethal. Ellen said he played better with 1 leg. Oh man. Based on how you play with 1 leg and TVD showed up, I think we could go with y'all are funny. To be honest, TVD is the most talented QB that the U had in the program history. Oh. I don't know about that now, so. I don't know about that. I think Brad Collier was better. I think Ja'Cory Harris was better, but that's just me. How that classic running? Oh, it's run good. It run good. It run good. What a statement. What statement, South Coast? What statement you talking about? Oh, you talking about it? You talking about what Nassau said, or what you talking about? I don't know. But it is what it is. I'm excited for the matchups, because when Jim Harbaugh got to college football, that was what they wanted. Everyone wanted to see Jim Harbaugh versus Nick Saban for a game that meant something. We're going to get it. Washington has a fun, high-flying offense. Texas got a fun and high-flying offense. So on paper, these are good matchups. I mean, I don't think, like, we can argue about Florida State, but this will be, all right, this is a consolation prize for the fans. If you're a fan of college football, How can you be upset watching Alabama versus Michigan and Texas versus Washington? You can't be. Now, again, I know Florida State fans are going to be upset. But again, let's look at the bowls. We got, like, let's put this in perspective. Let's just say Georgia and Florida State are two of the best teams. All right, let's say that. We get a bowl game watching them. Now, they don't get to play for the championship. You know, that's unfortunate. But let's see. Let's see if the committee got it wrong. Let's see, do y'all performances against each other look like Michigan, Alabama, and Washington versus Texas? You know, more talented than Jacory or arm talent better than Kosi. I don't know about that. I mean, program history. I mean, I think obviously Jim Kelly got to be the best. Then I would go Brad. Then I would go Jacory. No. I'll go Kelly, Kosar, Kaya, Jacory. Then I go TVD. I'll put TVD at 5. That's me. That's my personal thing. I'll put him at 5. And Kosi would be right at, I think Kosi would probably be 10 or 11. That's just me. Yeah, what? Oh, okay. Go back and look at the old games from the past, from Jim Kelly on down, you would see. I mean, Jim Kelly, best quarterback in program history. And the reason I say this is because Jim Kelly showed it at the next level. So I think that has to account for something, especially when Jim Kelly was playing. You got to take into consideration, they really weren't throwing the ball like that. So to see Jim Kelly go to the NFL and what they call it, the K-gun offense, like lethal. Like, he's the best. And program history. And I'm kind of being biased now because I left out Testaverde. I think TVD better than Testaverde. I do. Arm test not better than Kosi. Nah. TVD the most talented. Nah, but best pro physical prospect. Steve Morris is the most talented in my opinion. Okay. Yeah, Steve Morris had some arm talent, but Steve Morris had a lot of those inconsistencies, and with his accuracy and stuff like that. But from an arm talent perspective, you got to look at Kosi and Stephen Morris. If we're talking just pure arm talent and just can launch a football, and then I think we could put Jacory in that conversation because Jacory has a cannon as well. You know what I mean? Who is N'Kosi Perry in Nassau? He was the quarterback. He helped lead that comeback against Florida State in 2018. I don't have the dog in the fight, but I always watch it. Yeah, I'm going to be watching. Walsh had a good tear in 88. Yeah, he did. Nah, TVD's aren't better than Kosi, especially 2021 TVD. I don't know, man. Kosi could make some throws, too. The problem with Kosi was Kosi trusted his arm a lot. A lot. Walsh and Erickson up there. I mean, if we're talking just pure talent, then I don't think we can argue with that 5. But if we're talking about success at the University of Miami, then no then Jacory, TVD and Brad, like nah. Y'all not in the top 5, FSU has some first and second round players they may not want to play in the bowl. But category 5, I know that, but you should want to play against Georgia. That was the college football playoff number 1 ranked team until they lost to Alabama. You should want to go out there and play them. Because again, some of these guys that got these draft grades, this is a game where NFL scouts are going to be looking at. They're going to be looking at you playing Georgia. Keon Coleman, they want to see you against Georgia secondary. You know what I mean? Trey Benson and Toafili, they want to see you against some NFL caliber players on the other side of the ball. Their offensive line, if you got some guys that are kind of on the verge, you should want to play in a game like this. You should, But I understand it's a business now. But you should want to play. I mean, for real. Came out the bench and beat FSU, might I add. Yeah, Gino Toretta. I mean, again, like I said, when we get to those names like that, Matt, that conversation goes to the most successful quarterbacks, right? And this particular discussion is more so about just talent and just natural ability. What can you and can you not do? But again, what we got to add to that conversation is you're kind of intertwining the eras, where you got one era where it was kind of more run based, and then you got an era now that's more pass based. So it's kind of, so that's why I'm like, Jim Kelly has to be number one, period. He wasn't the most successful because he didn't win a Natty, he didn't win a Heisman or anything like that. But when he got to the NFL, we could see that Jim Kelly could naturally throw the football better. Same goes for, like, Bernie Kosar. So those two guys, to me, because they played in that era, but then also showed that they had the ability to do some of the same things that the quarterbacks are doing in this era. We'll be here all day on this topic. No, we ain't gonna be here all day because I want to talk about I want to talk about Mario's season. I want to do a conclusion to our 2023 season. Ja'Cory had touch, but he didn't have Ja'Cory had some nice touch. I didn't get to see the U in mid-2000. Okay. Hey, Nassau, full transparency, I didn't really start following the Miami Hurricanes closely until like 06, 07. So, me and you kind of in that same boat. But we may be in that boat for different reasons. UGA finna run through them. They might as well. I agree, but not with those quarterbacks. Category 5, hey, but they making an argument for that quarterback. Hey, listen, Mike Norvell, because what? They playing the Orange Bowl, so that's the end of this month. So they got no time to devise a plan together and see. And again, they got some, listen, even if Keon Coleman doesn't play, Johnny Wilson doesn't play, hey, look, y'all got some freshman receivers. They can go out there and play. Let's see what y'all are going to look like potentially next year. So, I mean, it's a win-win in either situation. Same thing with our guys, you know what I mean? Sun Bowl thoughts. We're going to get to that. Kenny Kelly had a Kenny Kelly, okay, that's the one that Dorsey took over for. Yeah, I heard that he was pretty good. But again, that was before I was watching college football. I was watching NFL at that point in time. And to be honest, I don't think I would have been able to watch any Miami games in the 90s anyway, because I was in Mississippi. And obviously satellite wasn't what it is now. So I became a Miami Hurricane fan off a video game. So that's crazy. Back in 2002, I went over to one of my friend's house. His dad was a Miami Hurricane fan. We sitting there playing the game. And he was like, yeah, this is what it is, right? So then, obviously, Willis was on that team. Willis is my favorite player. And so Willis obviously got drafted to the Buffalo Bills. So I like watching the Bills. On Madden and stuff, I used to play with the Bills because I wanted to play with Willis. Pause. That didn't sound right, but you get what I'm saying. So, Kyle Wright had arm talent, but used it inconsistently. Yeah, I mean, we've had some talented, quarterbacks through here, but we got to, this particular list is, kind of natural ability, and then you kind of maybe throw a little of what you were able to do here at Miami. So that's why Kyle Wright. And then Brock Berlin was a good quarterback for us too. We can't leave him off, but dang, man. I'm probably putting Brock Berlin over TVD too, man. So TVD probably 6. It was hard to watch day in and day out. Category 5, can we really get out of our own way next year? A lot of self-inflicted nonsense going on, man. Hey, no excuses next year. So let's talk about the Sun Bowl. I watched a few Oregon State games this year. Obviously, DJU's not going to be playing. They losing their head coach, but the defensive coordinator is going to take over. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, what I'm excited about seeing is we get to see Ja'Cory, obviously. TVD bench. It is what it is. TVD did nothing to help his legacy this year. I'm just gonna leave it at that. All right, I'm gonna leave it at that. We get to see the young linebackers play. And to be honest, I don't think with the guys, I think the only issues that we may have in the Sun Bowl in terms of players not playing is obviously LT not being there. Bro, we good. The U will be okay next year. Y'all gonna see. Yo, yeah. That's what we're about to talk about right now. That's what we're about to talk about. Oregon State has a tough-nosed team. They will not quit, that's for sure, and they play right into the physicality. Exactly. It's going to be a physical game. I think the only issue that we'll have is Cam's not going to play. LT's not going to play. Obviously, Corey Flagg is not going to be there, as well, which, regardless of what we say, Corey Flagg was our second-best linebacker this year. But we'll get to see the freshman. Don't know if James will play. And, again, but today is December 3rd. Sun Bowl official. Yeah, I think it is official at this point. That would be an issue with the physical team. I mean, that would going to be an issue with Oregon State. They're going to have some issues. You know what I mean? Today is just December 3rd. The portal does not officially open until tomorrow. So right now, I'm just kind of talking out loud because it's like, okay, we're assuming that certain players are still going to be there. I think they play in the bowl game. They've never been in one. You talking about the guys that are leaving for league? No, I don't see Cam playing. No, I don't see Cam LT playing. Flagg is in the portal. Jafari Harvey's in the portal. Don Chaney's in the portal. They're not playing. The problem is, will there be some more people that get in the portal when it officially opens tomorrow? That's the problem. Glad they running back is not playing due to recent arrest. He got arrested? Oh, like I said, I don't know. Okay. What did he get arrested for? This should be a good game. It could be a good physical game. You know what I mean? We get to see some of the young. We get to see some of the young players. We need to win. 8-5 looks a lot better than 7-6. DUI. Oh, that's unfortunate. We need to win. We need to win. We need to win this bowl game. The majority of the guys that we're going to be dependent on heavily next year, they are they can't sit this game out. They're not going to be able to sit this game out because a lot of them are freshmen and sophomores, right? So, I think we're going to have the full allotment of our receivers. I think Kobe's going to play. X is going to be there. George is going to be there. Isaiah Horton's going to be playing. Riley's going to be there. Van Wilder's going to be playing. I think JP put on a show and put that transfer QB to bed. Nassau, they're still going to bring in the transfer, right? And the thing about it is that I'm glad you brought that up. I know everybody's heard what Matt Rule said about what it costs to get a transfer portal quarterback, $1.5 to $2 million. So this is the conundrum. If you bid 1.5 or 1.75 or even $2 million for a transfer portal quarterback, how can you have a real competition? How can you have a real competition if I have someone that I brought in for 1.5 and the guys that are still here, y'all are probably not even making 60? How can you have a true competition? Definitely need a win to create momentum for next year. This could be a springboard for next year, and hopefully it starts off a winning streak. Yeah, exactly. Like Rick and 16 at the ball. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. You can't. Exactly. You cannot have a competition. So it's so unfortunate that this is the situation, because regardless of how JB plays, whether he plays good, if he plays good, that's great for us, because I think if he plays good, we get a win. If he plays bad, then social media is gonna be in a frenzy. Oh, this is the guy y'all want to play. What whoop-de-woo, he ain't got any better. Whatever the situation is. But either way it goes, there's not gonna be a true quarterback competition. They have that problem in the NBA. Yeah. Like I said, facts is not a fair way to have a competition. It's not fair. But that's what it is. So a lot of people want Cam Ward. Cam Ward Cam Ward gonna get a blank check. So you don't bring in Cam Ward and then talk about he can't be worse than 8-23. So no, he can't be, but he can't. But then he can, from a passing perspective, he can. But again, Birdstone, listen, 8-for-23 was terrible, but I gotta keep it a stack. The man did throw 2 touchdowns. He he did throw 2 touchdowns. So I can't, I like the 8-for-23 joke, but the man did throw 2 touchdowns. So that he can't be denied that he threw 2 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Man, life ain't fair. Bet him out. Yeah, Sterling, you right. 1,000%. Life is not fair. Life is not fair. You get what you can get, and what you can't, it is what it is. But it ain't no quarterback competition. It's not no quarterback competition, man. And then, because again, look at this. We saw that this year. Because rumors were TVD was making a meal this year. And it wasn't no competition. They just told us that TVD was the best performing quarterback. That's what they told us. Man, Jacoby scored 1 by himself. Yeah, that was a bad throw, but Emory get credited for that touchdown. He gets credit for that touchdown, So Emory chucked the ball up. Jacoby he did, but he gets credit for the touchdown. I mean, Jacoby couldn't throw it to himself, but that's just me being objective about it. But in reality, it is. Bring me Will Rogers. Okay, I see a lot of people. I see some people like Will Rogers too. Me personally, I like Will Howard. I like the quarterback from Kansas State, and I had to look at some of his statistics this year, simply because he was I drafted him for my fantasy team. So I was able to see Will Howard. I was like, man, Will Howard's playing pretty good. Now, he did have a terrible game where I think he got pulled for the backup quarterback one game, but he was able to get the spot back the next week. But that's who I like. And I'm going to say this. There is no guarantee with these transfer portal quarterbacks. There's no guarantee that they will look good. Because, again, the 3 Heisman finalists this year are Jayden Daniels, Michael Penix, and Bo Nix. No one thought Michael Penix was going to be Michael Penix at Indiana. We all know the Bo Nix story. And then Jayden Daniels. They basically ran him out of Arizona State. So it's no guarantee that Cam Ward will pan out. Just like it's no guarantee that individuals about Will Rogers, because some people saying, Will Rogers has some TVD in him where he'll play good and then he'll, but we don't know that. You don't know. Situations differ. Change of circumstances make a player, may make a player play better, or they may play worse. You just don't know. It's a gamble. It's it's an expensive gamble, but it's a gamble nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's not gonna be a quarterback competition. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Mario wants to be physical, so let's implement the 49ers offense, use the tight end position. Man, we're not using the tight end position. If Shannon Dawson could not draw up plays to get the tight end the ball from spring until the first game in September, then I know doggone well he's not going to scheme up nothing to get the tight ends the ball from us playing Boston College to us playing within a month. So I'm not even anticipating that. I promise I'm not. I'm not. That's just me though. I just hope we get on things early. Mario be taking his time. You can't take his time right here because you'll get outbid. Simple as that. Howard is solid, needs work passing wise and mechanics, but he's decent, honestly. It's only 2 or 3 legit transfer portal quarterbacks. Everybody else needs work. May as well keep JB Emory, 2 high schools recruit, and 1 portal make them. I mean, Birdstone, yeah, that makes sense. But unfortunately, this is year 3. And I may be looked at as being one of those people that people say, oh, you're negative and you're being overly pessimistic and you are glass half empty type of guy. I'll be all that. But even the ones that are ecstatic, the ones that say the glass is half full, the ones that are talking about the progress and all that stuff like this, y'all said 2025. But at the end of the day, y'all win 10 games next year. You got to. I'm not predicting 10 games. I'm taking the slow path. I'm looking at 8-4 next year. That's my prediction. I'm putting it out there right now. 8-4. But the reality of the situation is, year 3, it should be double-digit win time. Because it's go time. You know what I mean? It's go time. Dawson never used tight ends, or was it Dana? I don't know, man. But again, QB, and I said this on another video, right? We were so complete when we were getting the ball to our receivers. Like, we got 2 receivers that one got 800, the other one got 900. Both of them could have easily had 1,000 yards, in my opinion. So when you getting the ball to the receivers that much, you're really not paying attention to the tight. Like take this for instance, right? This may be an extreme example, but let's take Ohio State for a second. Who knows who the tight end had, who knew, like, the tight end was not used at Ohio State in the passing game because you didn't need him. You had Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith and Jigba. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. You got Julian Fleming. You got Cornell Tate now. You got Brandon Ennis. And you are looking to get Jeremiah Smith this particular year. You got all those guys. How can you get the ball to the tight end? Even, let's go back to like Clemson. Clemson was wide receiver U for a second. They didn't get the ball to the tight end. LSU 2019. Yes, Randy Moss' son was the tight end, but we talking about Marshall, Jefferson, and Chase. That's what we talking about. USC. Who's the tight end for USC? We don't know. We talking about Jerry Rice's son. We talking about Zachariah Branch and whatever. So, I understand the situation about the tight end, but at the same time, I don't want to be a hypocrite and say it. But my defense would be, look, if the quarterback is struggling to get the receivers the ball down the field, then yeah, maybe let's throw some short passes to the tight end. But if TVD is ready to go and there's no physical limitations, that goes for Emory and Jakari, get the ball to the wide receivers, man. I think we had 1 QB sighting versus BC, maybe 2. Dana never used them, so that's why Dawson don't. I mean, wide receivers, 10 wins a month. Yeah, 10 wins a month. Only 1 game improvement. No, Birdstone, see, look. I'm hedging my bet. Like, I don't, listen, and this may be selfish of me saying this, but I don't like being wrong about stuff. And I don't think a lot of people like being wrong. But if you're wrong, you're wrong. You can own up to admit it. But I was wrong last year. First year, 2022. I said 10-2. I was wrong. I had to sit in there. And I said, you know what? Let me look at things a little bit more closely moving forward. So I said 7-5, and we went 7-5. Right? But I'm looking at, and I'm glad you asked that question because this is what we got going on here, right? Think about this for a second. We potentially lose both our safeties. And the reason I bring this up is because I want to go back to 2019. Now, Birdstone, me and you, we think alike, and I'm sure some of the people that's in this chat, we kind of think alike too. Not on everything, but I think we can all say this. There was a mindset in the fan base that said that Gervin Hall and Bubba Bolden were going to be a better safety tandem than JJ and Cedric Redwine. That was a thought process because they were more athletic. That didn't happen. There was also a mindset to say that once Shaq Quarterman, Mike Pinckney, and Zach McLeod leave, we're going to get some more athletic linebackers in the building. That didn't happen. It didn't happen. And the reason I'm saying that is because it's not going to be easy replacing James Williams and Cam. I love Jaden Harris. Markeith Williams was a guy that played last year that had some flashes, especially in the Georgia Tech game. But we're talking about replacing guys that have started for 3 years with guys who haven't played a lot. It's not going to be easy to replace LT. It's not. If Matt Lee and Cohen leave, that's not going to be easy to replace them either. Now, obviously, I know people like McCoy and Rodriguez, but those are not going to be easy guys to replace. We feel like it's going to be easy to replace TVD, and it very well might be, but he's still a 3-year starter. Now, obviously, if we bring in a portal quarterback, obviously they got some starting experience as well, but it's not going to be as easy replacing some of this experience like some people like with Corey Flagg. They love, like, people diss Corey Flagg. But it's not going to be easy replacing Corey Flagg because of Corey Flagg's mental. I'm not saying the freshman linebackers are not instinctual. I'm not saying that they're not smart or anything like that. But you're not going to... Corey Flagg has played a lot of football. He may have not had the physical ability to get there, but he understood the assignment. And the reason I say that is because Wes Basant made some plays as a freshman, but Wes Basant made a lot of freshman mistakes. And going into this year, KJ Clark was brought in because the staff felt like Wes Basant was not where he should be in his development, and we need someone else. I say that to say this. The freshman backers that we have that are going to play next year and that we're going to see in the bowl game, I think it's safe to say that they're not going to be what Corey Flagg is going to be. It's safe to say that, in my opinion. Now, you may disagree, but it's going to be hard replacing some of these guys. So that's why I'm like one game improvement, because I didn't think that we were as young of a team as some people think. See, some people think, oh, well, we're a young team. No, we're going to be a young team next year. And then, obviously, again, Akeem Mesidor and Najee Kelly, they're returning from lower extremity injuries. I don't know what happened to Najee Kelly. I didn't ask. Maybe someone said it, but I didn't ask. I don't know what's going on with Akeem Mesidor. We've seen what a lower extremity injury looked like with Zion Nelson. We don't know what that is. Citizen, right? I'm not wishing that on Najee Kelly or Akeem Mesidor, but we do not know. Our 2 starting defensive ends, well, Ruben Bain may start, but again, 2 of our DNs that are going to contribute a lot next year, they're returning from lower extremity issues, from injuries. We don't know what they're going to look like. So that's why I'm like 8-4. You know what I mean? But 10 wins. QB said we blaming Manny and TVD for not having 10 wins. QB, what would be the excuse next year? Oh, the excuse would be what I just said. We're a young team. That's the excuse next year. Dawson had more dynamic offense at Houston with tight ends getting the ball as well. I mean, I'm not going to act like that. I watched Houston like that, but OSU is wide receiver heavy. They do get the ball to Cade Stover. Yeah, they're getting the ball to Cade Stover this year because of their quarterback situation, but Kyle McCord wasn't getting the ball to Cade Stover like that. He's having one of his better years this year, though. Year 3 of Mario reconstruction, so there should be less than 5% of many players. Oh, you're talking Big Groove, Mario. I'm almost on Big Groove turn. Mario got to show me. Yeah, you got to show me. Oh, you meant tight end side? Okay. Oh, shit. Whoever said that is out of their dang mind. Whoever said what? I'm behind on the chat. I got a little too talky right there. TVD replaced himself. You got to hit on the portal. Yeah, you got to hit on the portal. Soft schedule next year, so no excuses. Hey, Matt, I'm glad you said that. Because I'm glad you said that. Because, when we looked at this schedule this year, we said this was a hard schedule. Because you got Texas A&M, Clemson, North Carolina, Florida State. We had all 4 of those teams on the schedule this year, right? Good teams. And then the games were played, and Texas A&M wasn't as good as we thought. Clemson wasn't as good as we thought. North Carolina, we had that game, but again, it is what it is. And Florida State wasn't as good as we thought. I say that to say that, and then Louisville surprised. I say that to say this. Because I was looking at, because we played Florida the first game. And I'm looking at Florida. I'm like, man, bro, we should run Florida off the field. But then I had to stop and think. I said, wait a minute, though. It's a transfer portal out here. Florida could go get some guys from the portal, and that team looks completely different. Same thing with us. Like, their schedule, like obviously, we got Florida, Ball State, USF. We playing FAMU. We got Duke and all this stuff like that. Like, yes, next year's schedule looks easy and looks weak. But with the portal, man, you just don't know, man. It's not as cut and dry as it was pre-portal. Because pre-portal, you pretty much knew, like, okay, that's your team. But, man, you just don't know. Because what? I think we play Virginia Tech next year. Virginia Tech ended the season on a strong note this year, I think what? Weren't they 6-5 too? So, or 6-6 or something like that? So, man, you just don't know, man. Like, if a school, if a booster base, if they got some money, and we see, because you're looking at what Washington did. Washington gets Michael Penix, and they go from being 4-8 in 2021 to they've only lost, what, 2 games? In 2 years, they've only lost 2 games. It's like, why not throw my hat in the ring? Why not get 26 some or $18 million, and let's make some offers to some 1-year guys and let's roll the ball out there and see what happens. I mean, you just don't know. LT would be a little less harder to replace because he missed a bunch of time this year, leading to Moulton and Gore getting experience and reps. Horton as well, but James and Cam would be tough to replace. I mean, yeah, LT, but Birdstone, this the thing, though. People looked at the Louisville game and said, see, that's what happens when LT doesn't play. I don't agree with that, but there's some segments of the fan base that think that, and I'm not gonna argue against them. Cloyd ain't got another year. West still not in it. Still not. It's his head. I mean, again, I'm just saying. I'm saying that, so we don't know if the other freshman linebackers, if they are mentally ready to take on such a large load yet. So, I mean, we kind of in wait and see approach, This team could be really different from this year, 75. Yeah, we can. So that's what I'm saying. Like, college football now, and I love it. I like parity. I really do like parity because I like watching good football games, right? Like I tell anybody, I'm a football fan first, Miami Raiders fan second. I love watching good football. And I would love nothing more than for us to have some good games next year. Play Virginia Tech in the game. Now, we may look at it and say, man, we don't want to play no close games. But if Virginia Tech got a good team, let's see, can we beat them? But, yeah, on paper right now, this is one of the weaker schedules that we've had in some years. But with the portal, a lot can change between, what's today, December 3rd? A lot can change from December 3rd to our first game against Florida next year. A lot can change. We got a spring, then you got another open portal season. Like, a lot can change. You know what I'm saying? A lot can change. Flag will be hard to replace. Facts, intelligence is something you can't teach. No, you can't coach that. Bang will start. I mean, yeah. Hunt may return. That will help the LT loss. Yeah, but Hunt could return. Hunt could return. But like I said, we'll know a lot more tomorrow when it opens. Don't forget Jaden Wayne. Yeah, don't forget Jaden. Yeah, can't forget Jaden Wayne. Because Jaden Wayne made some plays this particular year, and he should be a big force. But again, similar to Wesper Saint, he had some flashes, and then he had those freshman moments. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'll say this: I kind of trust Jason Taylor's rotation in terms of the defensive end rotation and stuff like that. So if Jaden Wayne really didn't play a lot, to end the season, I think that says a lot. And then also Chance Williams entered the portal. So while Chance really didn't do a lot, but you still need some veteran bodies, some guys that's been in the weight program for a couple of years. So while that may not be a loss in terms of the impact that he can make on the game based on what we've seen from him up until this point, but it's still a loss because you got a guy, an older guy, that's been in college that could be somewhat of a mentor to the younger guys. So we're going to miss that. Now, again, Mesidor is there, but, we don't know what type of shape Mesidor going to be in. About JJ and Redwine. Okay, let me go back up. Because I want to piece this together. Whoever said there's a, okay. Hey, but, okay, yeah, about JJ and Redwine. But yeah, but Nassau, this is the thing about that, though. People really felt that. There was some people that really felt that, look, bro, Gervin Hall and Bubba Bolden are going to be better than JJ and Redwine. That's what a lot of people felt. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, bro, like Jaquan Johnson had the best season a safety could have at Miami since what? We got to go back to what? Brandon Mayweather? Phillips? Like, we talking early 2000s. And you telling me that just because Nick Saban landed the helicopter on a practice field for Gervin Hall and we got Bubba Bolden. And like I said, I was high on Bubba Bolden. But again, I'm of the mindset, let me see what you do on the field. I don't care about what you did over there. What are you going to do here? But that's the thought process. And I don't see nobody saying it right now because I think it would be asinine right now to say that, Jaden Harris and Markeith are going to be better than James and Cam, because that's crazy. You can't say a guy that hasn't played much is better than an All-American. Like, even though Cam didn't play like an All-American this year, but he's still an All-American, so it is what it is. Folks real high on Dawson. I'm just wondering, was he considered elite before he got here? I don't know, man. QB, about this, and you've been preaching this on Twitter, bro, and I want to give you your flowers and your kudos for that, right? It takes two to tango. I've never seen a good offensive coordinator with a bad quarterback, and I've never seen a bad quarterback with a bad offensive coordinator. It don't work like that. Y'all make each other look good. And that's why I say it's only active. It's only 3 guys that are at that level of play calling. The rest of y'all need a quarterback to help y'all look good. Kiffin, Sark, and Riley, bro, you can make anybody look good. That's my opinion. You can make anybody look good. But Dawson, you give Dawson a fairly good quarterback. Like I said, you give Dawson a Will Howard. I think even Dawson could make something work with Jakari. I really do. But again, like I said, y'all bringing in a portal quarterback, so you're going to be on the hook for over $1 million. So it's not going to be fair. So, but nah, man, I mean, I don't know. Like, bro, like this the thing, like, Shannon Dawson and Rhett Lashley, to me, they're in the same boat, even though I feel like Rhett Lashley is a little bit better than Dawson. But they were able to do something. At least Rhett Lashley was. He was able to do something. Rhett Lashley gained a lot of respect from me when he was able to go from Derek King to Tyler Van Dyke. And that moved him up a notch to me. I didn't see that from Shannon Dawson. All I saw was 25 screen passes. And then when the training wheels were taken off, 8 for 23. So, no. I don't. To me, honestly, I felt like if Rhett Lashley was here, Emory Williams is not going no 8 for 23. Because Rhett was going to get it right. Rhett wasn't going to wait to the last week of the season to say, and to touch on that for a second, about Dawson meeting with TVD and asking him what plays he didn't like. It's like, but bro, Rhett Lashley did the same exact thing. But now TVD is looked at as a yes man and say, oh yeah, I can run this. I'm comfortable with everything. But it's like, okay, what's the difference between Rhett Lashley and Shannon Dawson? What trust did TVD have in Dawson and Lashley that he didn't have in Dawson in terms of TVD telling him, okay, Rhett, these are the plays that I'm not comfortable with. Was it ego from TVD? Like, nah, how dare you try to limit the playbook? No, I can run everything. What is it? So, but nah, I don't think, no. Rhett Lashlee here, Emory not going no 8 for 23. Nah. Shout out, they was saying whoever said Bubba and Gervin was better than Jaquan and Red Wine Screen. They said it, man. I didn't say it, but they said it. Was Dawson at West Virginia when we smacked them in 16? No, I think Dawson was at Southern Miss. Because I think Dawson was at Southern Miss from 16 to 18, I think. I want to say. So, no, I don't think Dawson was there. But then he could have been. I mean, y'all can Google it. I don't know. Soft schedule next year, so we could be FSU next year, snubbed or overlooked for something. May not be playoffs, but could be something if we're talking. Well, Ellen, the thing about next year is 12 teams. And I think the way it's set up is that the ACC champion is going to get an automatic bid. So if we go out and win our conference, I mean, we can't be denied. Now, how we match up against the other teams, that's a completely different thing. But no, what happened to FSU this year? No, I don't think it happens. And in the 12-team playoff, they wouldn't have been denied, but just Florida State was not one of the best 4 teams without that. We could be this year Louisville or better. I mean, to be honest, even though I'm going 8-4, I want to be Washington next year. That's what I want. I want Washington next year. That's what I want the University of Miami to be. I want them to be Washington next year. I don't want to settle for Louisville or that. No, but I'm going 8-4. I'm going 8-4 because to be honest, I don't like art. Like, I like to debate with people, but I don't like to debate all the time. And I feel like if I say we should be Washington next year, I feel like it's going to be a lot of debating because I don't want to hear nothing about a young team. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, well, this happened and this happened. Like, no, I don't want to hear it. So at least with 8-4, if we go 8-4, I can't complain about a lot. Like, we went 7-5 this year. I can complain, but at the same time, it's like, but you said 7-5, so how upset can you really be? You know what I mean? So I don't want to just argue with a bunch of people next year, to be honest. Shad, if you get a setup like Coach Hayes, you will blow up. I really like your show, bro. Appreciate it. Now, you know, it's a guy that I watch, and I love his setup. He does a boxing show. Like, he got all the drivers and stuff. He has like clips from movies and stuff that he interjects and stuff. Like, he has a really, really cool setup. Like, but I would love to have something like that. I really would, because like I like to joke a lot, and everybody that's in the champagne room, they know I have that's really my personality. That's really who I am. You know what I'm saying? So I would love that, you know. But I appreciate that, Nassau. I really do. Playoffs extended 12 teams. Birdstone wasn't necessarily talking about playoffs. Dang that, Miami, everything. Hey, Nassau, for real. I mean, like I said, if you want my true thought process, I want Miami to be Washington next year. Because I'm going to tell you something that's really irked me, right? Is I like to be objective. And I understand you can't be objective with a fanatic. I realized that last night. I got so pissed off last night. I called Coach Hayes' show, and I'm sitting up here, and the Florida State fans up here talking about, oh, Miami fans, y'all jealous and all this stuff. It's like, bro, I'm trying to be objective. But you talking, and bro, I promise to God, I got so mad last night. Because I'm like, bro, y'all had y'all star quarterback, and we took y'all to the doggone wire. Man, the TV. So that's why, come hell or high water, we gotta beat y'all, man. Like we gotta beat y'all straight up. Collins, I can't pronounce his last name, may end up at DT 66300 with a motor. You know, I think, you know, when we got him, he was, you know, he's a project. So that'd be a guy to look out for. I think, he hasn't played football that long. So I think he may get in the rotation next year, but I think really year 3 and year 4, I think that's when that particular investment may pay off. If it does pay off, you know what I'm saying? Only person I know who really hyped up Bubba like that was our boy H1H, who coined him light skinned warrior. Shout out to Coach Hosen. I was high on Bubba Bolden. Bro, think about this. How could you not be high on Bubba Bolden with the game that he had against Clemson? Like, remember that iconic thing? Bubba standing there, nose, got the blood dripping right here. He blocked the field goal. It's like, bruh, the Louisville game, all them open field time. Bro, I'm gonna tell you how high I was on Bubba. I was so high on Bubba Bolden that I said, bro, Bubba Bolden could go be our starting corner. That's how high I was on Bubba Bolden. I don't think, like, I know Holson was high, but I don't think nobody that I knew was higher on Bubba Bolden than I was. Because that first year, you know, when Bubba Bolden played and, he caught the interception and, him and Gervin Hall did the chest bump and, Bubba hurt himself and he was out for the rest of the season. Those couple of games that I saw Bubba Bolden, I said, bro, this is different. This is different. Now, I don't know if he's going to be JJ, but I felt at that moment, Bubba Bolden is better than Cedric Redwine, and the ceiling is up here. I was so high on Bubba Bolden, and I was so disappointed in 2021 when Bubba Bolden came up with that performance. I was so disappointed. But, bro, I was high on Bubba Bolden, bro. I was so high on Bubba Bolden. I'm not even going to lie. To me, Saban is the quarterback whisperer. He's the only coach to take several different types of QBs, different skill sets, and win with them all, from McElroy to McCarron to Hurts to a young Milroe and my bro Sims. Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing what Nick Saban has done, bro. Nick Saban has insulated the situation so well that I can throw a quarterback out there, and as long as you don't mess up too bad, we can get this. Blake Sims, I remember that season with Blake Sims. They went 12-2 that year. I remember that season because obviously that was the year Lane Kiffin was there. That was the year Amari Cooper had that monster year, like monster year. Like obviously Devontae Smith won the Heisman, but he had a good year that year. Like Amari Cooper, because Amari Cooper had over 100 catches. Like they were force feeding him. I forgot who the top DB was. Was it at LSU that year? Was it it wasn't Greedy. No, it wasn't Greedy. What that top DB? Tre'Davious White. Tre'Davious White was at LSU that year. I remember that game. Like Lane Kiffin was like, bruh, I don't care Tre'Davious White over there. I'm getting the ball to Amari Cooper. Blake Sims, throw him the ball. I think Amari had like 12 catches that game, so it's like, bro. So yeah, hey, he the GOAT. Preacher telling the truth and it hurts. Saban had Kiffin, O'Brien, and start to thank for that. Yeah, he did. Dan Mullen's the guy. He had Leaking Tebow. He had Trask. QB, that's why I said active. Now, if we just talking about just overall, like, yeah, it's 4. Kiffin, Sark, Riley, and Mullen. But my biased, I got Kiffin and Mullen up there and then Sark and Riley underneath that. That's my bias. I'm biased to Lane Kiffin and Dan Mullen. With Cam Ward at QB, we definitely could be Washington. To me, with JB, we are at Texas and Oregon level. I don't know. I mean, JB would be. I mean, this would be JB's junior year next year. I mean, Texas and Oregon ain't bad. It's just, to me, what Shy kept getting me in trouble. No, you got yourself in trouble. To me, what's going to be the key contributor of next year, because we're getting the offensive talent in. To me, next year is going to be, again, I know they say, hey, we a QB away. To me, next year is going to be about what Guidry can do to the defense next year. Can he keep that going? To FSU, you read what you saw. Remember 2000 BCS chip. Yeah, I see a lot of people talking about that. They were on T2Y being so emotional this morning. Yeah, y'all undefeated, but y'all ain't that good, to be honest. Who was being emotional? T2Y or Florida State fans being too emotional? I mean, they are being emotional. Bubba had a lot of Bubba. Sorry, not sorry, nose. Cool from the crib. What's up, bro? Y'all thought Bubba was better than Jaquan, or y'all crazy? Y'all not remember Notre Dame VT? No, I didn't. No. I didn't think Bubba was better than Jaquan. But that couple little small sample size that I got from Bubba before he got hurt, I said, oh yeah, he better than Redwine. But you got to get to a level to be better than Jaquan, because Jaquan in 2017, he was a cheat code. Jaquan was a cheat code. Man, well, yeah, Jaquan was that dude, bro. Bro, Quan, and unfortunately, maybe due to his height and all this stuff like that, he's not that guy in the NFL. But if we're talking about Miami Hurricanes safeties, bro, Jaquan Johnson is in the top 10. You can argue with whoever you want to argue with. You can, I mean, obviously we know Benny Blades, Ed, and Sean Taylor. That's, Benny Blades, Ed, Sean Taylor. That's 3. Merriweather's right there at 4. And obviously it's some more, but we ain't gotta go through this. But Jaquan Johnson, a top 10 safety in Miami Hurricane history. And you can argue with whoever you want to argue with. The man had 90 plus tackles. The man was instinctual. Now, the only thing Jaquan, I will say this, he wasn't perfect by any aspect. No player is perfect, because he did have his instances where he took some bad angles. But when I tell you he made up for that, bruh, I ain't seen bruh, we ain't had a force like that on the team, offense or defense like that, in a long time. And I respect Jaquan Johnson. And I thought it was blasphemy for anyone to say Gervin Hall and Bubba were going to be better. How can you be better than what that man did? And think about this. In 2018, Jaquan missed, I think, like 1 or 2 games for injury. That man still led the team in tackles and had over 90-some tackles after missing time. That's how big and important he was to that defense. So, bro, no. No Jaquan Johnson slander will be tolerated. Yeah, FSU fans were emotional. I mean, they supposed to be emotional. You felt like you were robbed, but at the end of the day, hey, I'm gonna tell you what's funny though. Jordan Travis tweeting out saying he wished that he would have broken his leg earlier, which that's crazy to me to even put that in the atmosphere. But it's out there. He said he wished he would have broken his leg earlier so the country could have seen how good this team really is. I mean, I understand, bro. You still trying to be a leader, you know what I mean? But, bro, you don't believe that. You don't believe Tate Rodemaker was going to go out there. And when he say earlier, what earlier is he talking about? Which game is he talking about? Tate Rodemaker don't beat Miami. Tate Rodemaker don't beat Duke. Tate Rodemaker don't beat Clemson. So how early is he talking? Y'all were in a fight with Boston College. And Boston, what was the game? Boston College had a historic amount of penalties. Y'all don't beat Boston College with Tate Rodemaker. So what games is he talking about? Florida State, y'all, hey, listen, my advice to Florida State is run it back next year. Because this is my thing. When you got a campaign this hard about your team, you know in your heart of hearts y'all not ready for that. You know you're not. When you got a campaign this, when everybody keeps saying, oh well, we undefeated and we did this and woo. When you gotta do all that, you shouldn't have to campaign for yourself. You should know that. Everyone should know. Like, let's take like for instance, right? Let's say this for a second. let's say this was the 2013 Florida State. A team that only allowed defensively like 11 or 12 points per game. Jameis Winston was the driving force for that team, but they had a very dominant run game. Like the run game they got like this year, it's not like that. So let's say this was a 2013 Florida State team. I could understand. I would like again, I'm being completely honest. If this was 2013 Florida State, as dominant as they were, like James was good, but if you want to talk about a team, that was a team. That was a team. And the reason why I say it's a team, because I remember that particular game. We lost to Florida State those 2 years in a row, not because of Jameis Winston. We lost because we couldn't stop the run. Because that 2013 year, we picked Jameis Winston off 2 times. Deion Bush got an interception. Rayshawn Jenkins got an interception. I want to say that 2013 game, that's when Stanish Dobar caught that pass. And I think we forced a fumble. They forced a fumble. And then I want to say they had that BS call where Jack Palmer, grandson, whatever the tight end name was, we forced a fumble on him, but they called it incomplete pass. So if Florida State won, it's like, if this was their 2013 team, then y'all be like, yeah, that is one of the best teams. Because I've seen y'all win without Jameis. But y'all struggle with Jameis. I mean, y'all struggle with Jordan. So now y'all saying that y'all should get in without him. And like one of my partners on the message board said, bro, when Jordan Travis got hurt, y'all were losing. Y'all were losing the game. It ain't like y'all was up. What you say, Bird? Dalvin cooked us both games. No, Dalvin wasn't there in 13. Dalvin didn't show up to 14. Carlos Williams and God dang, what the little running back name was from Central. Dang, I can't remember his name. But that little running back, they killed us. And then James made, some throws to Rashad Green and stuff like that, Kenny Shaw and all that good stuff like that. But so if they wanted to make that argument for the 2013 team, all right, cool. I'm there with y'all because that was a complete team. That defense was insane. Like, Jeremy Pruitt put it on. Devontae Freeman. That's his name. Devontae Freeman and Carlos Williams. No. Carlos was 14. No. Devontae Freeman and James Wilder Jr. Yeah. Burstone, Wilder. That's who killed us in 13. It wasn't Jameis. We picked Jameis Winston off 2 times that game. I remember that. Deion Bush called a pick. Rayshawn Jenkins called a pick. That was James. So, Florida State, if this was 2013, I can understand. Because that was a team. But this right here, what y'all got, that ain't that. That ain't. No. Like, bro, y'all were losing when the quarterback got hurt. Y'all were losing. But yeah, Dalvin Cook killed us in 14, 15, and 16. But you know what? I'm going to tell you what it was. Was it 16? No, 16 was the blocked field goal. It was 15. 15, we had Florida State right where we wanted them. And that's when Everett Golson was the quarterback. And I'll never forget that pass. I think it was like 4th down. And Everett Golson threw the ball. And Chad Thomas' arm was right here. And the ball went right by his hand. And they got a first down. I'll never forget that play. If Chad Thomas' hand was over just a little bit more, we bat that ball down, we win the game. But it didn't happen like that. And then obviously, I think that was the 15 game too. Or maybe it was the 16 game. One of them games where Tyreek McCoy batted the ball up in the air and Carlos just happened to be running across the field and caught it and ran in for a touchdown. Like, that's the type of stuff that was going on with us in Florida State in some of those golden years. But that 2013 year, y'all were one of the best teams in college football. So, but y'all 2023 team is not y'all 2013 team. Shy about to have FSU fans coming. They came after me last night because all they want to talk about what bowl Miami going to. 3-0 against y'all. Cool. Y'all won. Cool. I have no problem. Like I said, I'm not going back and forth with y'all because, again, my thing is this. Y'all beat us on the field, cool. But at this particular point, I'm not speaking about this as from a Miami Hurricane perspective. I'm speaking about this from a perspective of, y'all know doggone well y'all ain't one of the best 4 teams in college football without Jordan Travis. And y'all know that. FSU going to the Pokemon Bowl. It might be the Pokemon Bowl because they gotta find out who's gonna play against Georgia. Because the thing about Georgia, a lot of Georgia's best players, they are younger guys, so they gonna be out there. You know what I'm saying? FSU fans are not on socials at the moment. They grieving. I mean, it is what it is. Then we lost because the Pack got That was 16 when that dude got a name. I got a homeboy with that name. Or that DeMarcus. No, it wasn't DeMarcus. Yes, it was DeMarcus. Whatever that DN that they had, he blocked that field goal. And I remember that. And that was 16, and Brad said, we'll be back. We're gonna play y'all again. And then obviously we went on that 4-game losing streak, but it is what it is. FSU got UGA, which is ironic because they wanted UGA, now they got them. Oh, they wanted UGA? Oh, okay. Well, sometimes your wishes come true. Georgia might play Ohio State. No, from the projections, it's going to be FSU versus Ohio State. I mean, FSU versus Georgia. I think they got like Ohio State versus, like they might try to do Ohio State versus Oregon or something like that, I think. But I don't know. But yeah, if you wanted them, you got what you wanted, so that's cool. But nah, man, listen, Birdstone, one thing about me, I'm not going back and forth with no Florida State fan because my first question is going to be, do you feel like this team, do you feel like this team was as good as your 2013 team? If the answer is no, we ain't got nothing else to talk about. After the LSU win, they were saying we want Georgia. They got it. Oh, they did? Oh. Well. Funny how the universe gives you what you ask for. For all my religious people, what they say, God may not come when you want him to, but he's always on time. And here we go. He's always on time. So, Mike Norvell, you need to convince your guys to go out there and play. And hey, let's play. And this is this is the problem that I do have with the situations with the games kind of being meaningless now, because this bowl schedule this year is probably one of the best bowl schedules that we've had in a long time. Really do, because like you say, you got Georgia got to play somebody good, Ohio State got to play somebody good, Oregon got to play somebody good, Ole Miss, it's going to be some really, really good New Year's Six bowl games, and then some of the lower tier bowl games, they're going to be good as well too. So it is what it is, you know what I mean? But like I said, the end of our season was bittersweet. I hate that X didn't get that 1,000 yards though. I really did. Coleman gonna sit out. Benson, Wilson, two of them boys don't want no smoke with an upset UGA team willing to prove a point. To be honest, I don't think Johnny Wilson can afford to sit out. Now, Keon Coleman, after the performance that you just put on the field last night, you really don't need to sit out, but I'm sure that you will sit out because I'm sure your agent might advise you to. But if I'm your agent, I think NFL teams may want to see what you look like against some NFL players as well, because, I mean, you ain't really played no NFL guys except for the first game of the season, which you had a great game. You scored 3 touchdowns, but you ain't really. And I like Keon Coleman. I like him as a player. I don't care. I mean, you play for Florida State, but I like you as a player. But yeah, Coleman ain't did nothing the last 4 or 5. Yeah, you ain't did nothing. So, I mean, but I can understand if I'm Coleman, I probably wouldn't play. But if the excuse is being that you've been hurt the past couple games, you got enough time to rest up. And Georgia got some NFL corners over there. Let's see what you do. Nobody from the LSU secondary is sniffing the NFL. I mean, that one of them might get in there just because, of the name. You know what I mean? I haven't looked at their I haven't looked at their roster, in a minute. I know Denver Harris. I think he got kicked off the team, so he but it is what it is, man. But it is what it is, man. Shy, stop it. Just, well, they give people the benefit of the doubt, man. Somebody from LSU defense might get drafted, man. Maybe you know what? Maybe they'll bring Corey Raymond back. I don't know. But with that being said, man, we're going to try to get up out of here. So, since the Final Four is set, who do y'all think is going to play in the national championship? With it being set right now, I got Washington. I got Washington versus Alabama. That's my prediction. Lakers all day dope. What's up? That's my prediction. I like Washington against Alabama because I think Texas lost their starting running back. I think he tore his ACL. But Sark can get in his bag. K-Run, you like Michigan versus Washington? Okay. Bama versus Washington? Okay. I like that. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Bama versus Washington. Because I think Washington got just enough defense. I mean, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, though. I do think that. I do think it'll be a high-scoring game. But I could very well see Texas versus Alabama in a rematch. But right now, sitting right here, I think Bama, Washington. That's what I think. Washington versus Bama. Bama takes all. Like I said before the season, this is Saban last year for. Oh yeah, I forgot about it. And who do I got winning that game? I'm taking Washington. I'm sick of the SEC. They overhype. Yeah, I think Washington is playing Texas. Yeah, Washington is playing Texas. Oh, cool. Are you saying that's who you got for the title? That can't be the title game because Washington is playing Texas in the first round. Category 5, say he like Michigan and Texas. Okay, I can see that. I mean, see, this is my thing about Michigan, right? I think Michigan defense is good. Like, good. But when them jokers get south of I-40, it look different. It look different when them boys come south of I-40. Because what? Jim Harbaugh is like, 1-7 in bowl game? It look different. That's why I'm taking Bama over Michigan. But it's a meaningful game. We've been waiting for Harbaugh versus Saban. But it going to look different down there. So that's why I'm giving it to Bama. And Jalen Milroe could probably go to Michigan and be the fastest player on the entire team. So it's gonna look different. I think their secondary probably could match up with some of Bama receivers, but it's gonna look different, bro. To me, I think it's gonna look different. Is Jeremiah Smith coming to the Hurricanes now since Ohio State now in top 4? Oh, Lakers all day dope. I don't know, man. I don't do the recruiting thing. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Basically, Bama beating Michigan. Yeah, basically, because it looked different when Michigan play south of I-40. It looked different. It looked different. And Connor Stallions ain't there. It's gonna look different. Man, Roll Tide winning that thing. Y'all know it's Saban finna rack up money in Vegas. I mean, they could, but in a title game. And bro, like I said, I'm biased to Michael Penix. So I'm taking Washington Huskies to win it all. All right. But a case could be made for all 4 teams. You can make a case for Texas because Texas got some elite skill guys. They got a defense that can play. You know what I mean? Michigan, you got Blake Corum and, JJ, he's sneaky athletic. They can make a couple plays, so. And then Alabama is Alabama. Alabama is the most, from a program, not a team, but from a program standpoint, Alabama has the most experience in these situations. Texas has never been to the playoffs. Washington's never been to the playoffs. This would be Michigan's third year in a row, but Alabama has been a staple in the playoffs since the playoffs inception. So from a program standpoint, they got it. And like I say, another reason I'm giving it to them over Michigan is because one of the things that they've said about Jim Harbaugh is that he has trouble, and I just can't put that on Harbaugh. You got to put that on his entire staff. He and his staffs have had trouble preparing their team for bowl games after this long layoff, so you got to go with that. None of those teams have saw a Milroe that dual threat something different and hard to stop. Hope Mario taking notes. I think Washington has seen it because Washington played Oregon State. DJU is not as fast as Milroe. And then Bo Nix is a little shifty. So Washington has a little experience, but they don't have the experience but they have a little. Big Ten is slow. Yeah, Big Ten is slow. Well, I'm going to say this. Michigan looks fast on defense, though. I think they are fast. I think they are fast, but it looked different. Because Jermaine Burton can fly. Isaiah Bond can fly. Will Johnson can fly, too, but it's going to look different. Jesse Minter, it's going to look different. Texas saw a game, 2 or 3 Milroe. This game, 14 Milroe. Oh, yeah. That is gonna make a difference. How good is Washington defense? Washington defense, if what they did to Oregon is any indication, I think they're a pretty good defense. Like I said, I watched a couple of their games this year just because I've been watching Michael Penix, and I think one of the things that they've said is that they've been a very good team in the second half, defensively. You know what I mean? So I think with some rest, and I said this on the message board. I said I think with some rest, I think Washington can put enough defense on the field to complement their offense because Michael Penix and them, they're gonna have a break. Rome Odunze, like I'm not gonna say they 2019 LSU, but you see some similarities there. Like, obviously, Penix hasn't had the passing year that Joe Burrow has had, and a lot of that can be attributed to, like, some weather and some stuff like that. But Rome Odunze, Polk, and McMillan, you could argue that they are just as good as Marshall, Jefferson, and Chase. You can make that argument. You can make it. I'm not saying they 2019 LSU, but it's some similarities there, It's a few similarities there, you know what I mean? Michigan hungry, I think they win it. Hey man, you can be as hungry as you want to be, but I'm gonna try not to be biased, but it would shock me if they can match up with Bama. It'll shock me. Is MH that good if he plays in the South? Who is MH? Who is MH? MH, if he played in the South. Who is MH? That's all. Tell me who MH is. We need an elite QB at Miami Hurricanes, but I think Brown's our QB1. I ain't going to say we need an elite QB because I think what makes elite QBs elite are some of the things that are around them. Marvin Harrison. Oh, is Marvin Harrison that good if he plays in the South? I don't know. Because the thing about Marvin Harrison Jr. and the biggest knock that people that break his, watch his games is that Marvin Harrison Jr. does not like physicality and he doesn't get a lot of separation. So I don't know. He might, when you say the South, are you talking about if he played in the SEC or what? I think if he played in the ACC, I think he would still be good, but I don't know if he played in the, well, you know what? It really ain't that many good defenses in the SEC. No, I think, I think Marv would be good. I take that back. I think Marv would be good. You know what I mean? I think he'd be good. Yeah, Marv would be good. He was cooking UJ last year before talking. Yeah. But there's a thing about it though, Bird. He was cooking a corner that was not as good as many people thought he was. I can't remember what the guy's name was, but you know he was fast. But he wasn't doing it to Will Johnson. Like Ringo. Keely Ringo. Keely Ringo wasn't that good of a corner. Like he looked like a good corner because he was on a good defense, but Keely Ringo was not that good of a corner. So I can't look at that and say if he do that. Now, let's say could he have done that to Sauce? Yeah, he got drafted. Yeah, Ringo got drafted, but a lot of people were looking at him as being the number one corner off the board, and he didn't get taken until like the late second round. He wasn't a first round because I did a video last year, and I said there's a possibility that Tyreek Stevenson get drafted before Keely Ringo, and he did. So he still got drafted, but Keely Ringo ain't like that. He gave Ringo and Smith that work. Starks too. Starks was their top corner. Starks was the cover guy, but yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not taking anything away from Marv. I think Marv is good, you know, but it just be, you know, it'll be interesting. But I think he would still be good, you know. But yeah, man, I got Washington winning it all. I think, and because then that argument or that conversation that people are having was like you can't win a team in the portal can't win a national title. So think about this. You got two teams that all four of these teams have guys from the portal, right? But Texas has more guys from the portal because they got Ewers, they got Worthy, they got 80. I think they got a couple more guys. Like I say, I don't know all the rosters. And obviously Washington got Michael Penix. Bama has, you know, Jermaine Burton, and I think they got some more guys. And then Michigan, I think they got a couple portal guys. Starks from Miami had a son to go to Georgia. Starks from Miami had a son to go to Georgia. Who is who? Are you talking about Dwayne Starks? Oh, I don't know who that is. I don't know if that's his son. I didn't hear anybody say that was his son. What you think about QB as our QB1? I love Brian. He's a beast. I mean, I like Brian. I think watching Jalen Milroe yesterday, it kind of gave you a glimpse of like what can happen if you allow for a guy to make mistakes but then grow from those mistakes. And I think right now, within our fan base, so many people's put so much on that Clemson game last year that they would turn on Jakari quicker than they turned on TVD. And they wouldn't allow for Jakari to grow on the job like they did with Jalen Milroe. Because some of the stuff I saw yesterday with Milroe is like, bro, I see Milroe, he's in the pocket. Like he's actually making passes from the pocket. And I think Jakari can do that. But again, you know, like I said, I mean, everyone's gonna have their own opinion about it. Some people are trying to turn this into a race deal, and like I said, I don't want to do it. I mean, I'm not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I know some people will do it, but I'm not gonna do it because I don't think it's a race issue, personally. But it could be, but I'm not gonna say that because I in my heart of hearts, I don't feel it is that. I just feel like it's a situation where if the young man said he wanted the red shirt, honor his wishes. Simple as that. Honor his wishes. Because again, if he's red shirting, this ain't like running back a wide receiver. Because if I'm red shirting, then that means that Emory was the backup quarterback. So while yes, we could say, you know, you could come in and play in the 4 games, but again, like I said, I didn't want to see him in any packages. And I think some people said his people didn't want to see him in any packages. So if you're not gonna play in any packages, then there's no reason for you to play because the packages that you would have played in, you got Brashard, you got other guys that can do that. And then once Emory got hurt and TVD is back ready to go, and we see TVD in his first game back against Louisville, and he's not turning the ball over, then it's like, okay, well, Jakari, you don't have to play. You know what I'm saying? But if TVD would have got back in the game against Louisville and was turning the ball over, then yeah, I think Jakari would have started. I think Jakari would have started against Boston College, but it didn't work out like that. So Milroe isn't too accurate either, but he allows his throws to be catchable to it. Yeah, but they can't do that though. Brown is as good, is a good. They have to let him grow. I mean, Lakers all day. You making a lot of sense. Yes, you do need to let players grow because before the portal, that's what it was. You had to stick with the evaluation. If that's the quarterback that you got to roll with him. You can't swap him out. But unfortunately, right now, you can't. Miami, we're not in a position right now to let him grow. Unfortunately, I would love to let him grow, but it's just like some of the people just go to the extreme sometimes, man. It's just like, bro, the young man, he don't deserve all that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if y'all want Cam Ward, if y'all want Will Rogers, y'all want all these guys, all right, cool, let them come play. You know what I'm saying? But, and Lakers, I know you may have just jumped in or whatever, this was just your first comment, but like Matt Rule said, it's 1.5 to 2 million for a quarterback right now. So it's not going to be a real competition. So he's kind of in a rock and a hard place right now. We rocking with Jakari over here. Emory too. We support any QB that's for the U. Just give JB that same support. Rest of you can't. No, they can't because some of them have already put themselves in a corner after the Clemson game last year. So they put themselves in that corner, and I don't want y'all to come out of that corner. I want y'all to stay in that corner. For real, for real. But yeah, y'all gave y'all picks, bro. It should be a good game. Hopefully they're gonna officially announce the Sun Bowl later today or whatever the situation is, and we can get ready to see what's to Oregon State and see what we can do in the rest of this recruiting class. I think we're 5 now on 247, so we'll get to see what Coach Cristobal and staff can do, down the stretch. I think it's going to get crazy, especially, like I say, with the portal and stuff like that. I think it's going to be a lot more flips because it goes back to, it's like, yeah, I want to get a guy from high school, but then, like, if you telling me I got a first-team all-conference guy over here that just entered the portal and he's at a position of need, I might just put him on the roster. You know what I'm saying? I might bite the bullet and go get him. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's gonna be a lot more flips going on because you can go get ready-made guys right now. So the month of December is going to be good. It's gonna be bad for some people. But again, I'm just ready, man. I'm ready. So with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all rocking out with me, man. I'm about to run in here and get me something to eat. And I need to make my way back over to Mississippi because I've been in Arizona too long and my sleep pattern is thrown off. But anyway, man, like, share, subscribe, comment, and that's all. If you're still in here, bro, we're gonna get everything situated to where on the weekends, like on Saturdays and stuff like that, if I can get my internet and all my stuff like that, like I need to have a very interactive show, do the StreamYard thing or get like a phone or something, have guys call in and stuff like that. That's why I like you guys chatting because I don't like talking to myself. I can talk, but I like to see what everybody else saying. Birdstone, support Canes. Hoops boys looking good on the road, back-to-back. Final Four, go Canes. Well, Birdstone, I don't watch basketball. I don't watch basketball. But salute to the guys. Salute to the guys. Category 5, yes, sir. So with that being said, man, what's up, Chris Kane? So with that being said, man, like, share, subscribe, comment. And as always, it's about the you. I'm out.